So you're probably wondering why I'm in my garage. I want to talk about how to have an exciting winter in your car, or a boring one depending on your perspective. So stick around. Guys, the seasons are changing. Today, right now, it is October 2nd. Apologies for the sound. I know it's a little echoey in the garage, but because the temperatures are changing, precipitation is coming up, there are some things that you may want to consider for the next few months, or maybe not, depending on what you want to have happen. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, man, I got to load out my vehicle with all the cool stuff, right? So let's look in here and see what we got. Ooh, you got to have a rifle, right? Everywhere you go, probably 20 more mags for this. That's important, right? You're like, oh man, Jay, I don't have a rifle, but that's okay. I got my pistol, extra ammo, ready to go. Important? Maybe. Or you're like, man, you know what? I really need a tactical tomahawk so I can get to work. Bust into vehicles, do all the other things that tactical tomahawks do that I probably can't mention on YouTube because they'll get mad. One of these, once again, maybe. We'll talk. Okay, let's come down here, down by the tire. We gotta talk about a few things. Now, I'm not telling you to not have rifle, magazines, plate carrier, tomahawk, knives, all those things in your car. There's a whole kit that I would recommend that if you don't have, you could definitely go into it. And I'll do that in another video. I did one a while back, but it probably needs an update, so hold off on that. But there's really two things I feel like you really want to have in your car this winter, and probably one thing that you want to do sometime in the next week or two. But first, where did I put that thing? Oh, fire extinguisher. So boring. I'm going to show you a picture. I'll just put it in right here. That was my car. I'm not like preaching from I've always got all the things I need. I had to learn the hard way. I often learn the hard way. Guys, if a fire starts, a fire extinguisher can put it out. Now, a car that is entirely ablaze, a full-on barbecue, that's not gonna get that. That's gonna be the fire department's problem at that point. But if you can get them before they start, guys, I really recommend you try and do that. And so the only way I know if to do that is a fire extinguisher. That one fits in my glove box. It's not too big. I'll put a link down in the description below to where you can get the exact same fire extinguisher I've got. Super helpful. 2, a jump box. This one is a 4000 series, the GP 4000. It's the biggest, or one of the bigger ones that Gulu makes. Guys, I have jump started one car like 4 or 5 times with this before I ever had to recharge it, and it was still at like 70%. In addition, if you're one of those people that does not run around with a flashlight, there we go. So hold down the power button, you get the flashlight. Now, is this a good flashlight? No. Is it a better flashlight than trying to run around with your poor cell phone cam, like using that horrible output to try and see where the heck you're going? Yeah, it's better than that. So anyways, turn it back off. One of these jump boxes will set you back anywhere from $120 to $220. That is cheaper than calling a tow truck. I realize if you got AAA, you're like, well, I can just call roadside assistance, and that's cool. But the problem is roadside assistance is not always 15 minutes away. Sometimes it's hours away. This is right here in the back of your car. And if your car is in really good maintenance and you've got a brand new battery, I guarantee you somebody you know somewhere can't say the same thing. This is worth its weight in gold. Now, let's talk about this thing right here, the tires on your car. Okay, so before I forget, I realized that I didn't really talk about what to inflate your tires to. There's a lot of complicated ways to figure it out, and there's simpler ways. The sidewall, if you look on the sidewall, doesn't really tell you the whole story. It just gives you the max, and that's not gonna work really good for your vehicle probably. So what you wanna do, now look, you could Google it, you could ask a mechanic, you could ask opinions, you could get temperature measuring equipment and come up with like the optimal pressure for all 4 of your tires independently based on how you drive. But here's the little cheat button. If you go into your car, there's gonna be a little sticker right about here, and that little sticker is going to tell you
what each of your tires should be inflated to. Like for instance, you see here, mine should be 35. Now, because it's colder weather, I'm gonna tell you, I do this, you don't have to do this, but I put 1 extra PSI in each tire. So I inflate all of my tires to 36 PSI instead of 35 PSI. That seems to account for temperature. Understand that the general rule of thumb is every 10 degrees the temperature falls, your tire pressure reduces by 1 to 2 PSI. There's some science involved in that, and expansion and contraction of gases. But put simply, if you last checked your tires and it was 80 degrees outside and now it's 40 degrees outside, your tires could be 8 pounds less of pressure than they were back when it was 80. So it's kind of critical as seasons change to check your tire pressure. Anyways, back to where we were before. Sorry for the interruption.
Another way to have a really exciting winter is poorly maintained tires where the tire pressure is all over the map and you don't know what's going on because it sacrifices traction, tread wear, and all sorts of stuff. You can get a cheap tire pressure gauge and that's cool, but you really should check your tire pressures every now and again. If, however, you want to go the more expensive route, you can get one of these race ones. I like these a lot because it's really granular. Like you can see exactly how much tire pressure you got going on, but you don't have to spend this much. I will link something down there that's cheaper than this, but I'll also include this. Guys, you could go way overboard when it comes to your preparedness, and I'm not telling you to not carry more things, not be more prepared. But I feel like this is kind of the bare minimum. Like what I'm covering here is like, I don't care if you're like special forces guy or SWAT guy, or you're just like, I'm a homemaker, I'm an office guy. These are the things that I really want to consider going into the colder months. Getting stranded in your car when the weather is crap is no joke. It can go from uncomfortable to really, really bad. So I would take some steps to keep it from going down that road before it ever gets to the point where you're a casualty and need to be evac'd. Guys, take care, stay safe. I know this is not as exciting as some videos, but at the same time, it's that time of year and I probably need to think about it if you haven't already. Take it easy, guys.
Get 'em, Jay.